Black Myth Wukong is a threat. Okay, let's take a look here.
Black Myth Wukong is one of the most anticipated games of this year. If you're anything like me, you're looking forward to it.
That's so crazy. I don't know how or why it became the most anticipated game, but the last trailer that we saw was really good. Everything before that, I never really thought was that crazy, honestly.
Can't wait. I'm a big Souls fan to begin with, so I can't wait to get my hands on it. But with that said, it's also been a game that's had a lot of hit pieces ran on it ever since the game's reveal. Just recently, I ended up reading an article from The Guardian where they're going in and talking and parroting the same points that I've seen many other journalists say and trying to paint the game in a bad picture, specifically trying to send the message that, hey, yeah, it looks like a good game, but, the developer doesn't say very nice things and we probably shouldn't support them. So today what I want to do is I want to talk about the media's obsession with Black Myth Wukong, but more than anything, I want to talk about why they're obsessed. If you haven't heard, Black Myth Wukong is blowing up before its release. The game is already the most wishlisted game on Steam, and just the other day, the benchmark tool brought in over 85,000 players at its peak.
The benchmark tool? There was a benchmark tool, first of all. Secondly, 85,000 on the benchmark tool? And if you guys don't know what the numbers are right now, just to give you some context, Black Myth Wukong, this is the day of release, by the way, just came out. Black Myth Wukong is... Oh my god! It picked up 200k? It seems to be stabilizing here. But holy, dude. There are 1.4 million people playing the PC version right now. We're going to play it later. We're going to play it later because I definitely want to take a look at it. But 1.4 million. And just to give that some context, Palworld at its peak did 2.1 mil. And Elden Ring, it did 953 at its peak. So 1.4 mil is more than Elden Ring, and that is already insane. Honestly, at this point, I feel like developers pay for IGN to make bad press about them.
Optimization testing tool brought in more players, 40 times the amount of players as Sony's open beta of...
No, don't talk about Concord. Don't pit Concord right up next to Black Myth Wukong. Oh my god. Okay, wait. If you were to look at Concord gameplay, it's so slow. It's so lethargic. And this is Concord. You need to see the character selection screen. This is the character selection screen. So you have the character here. First of all, this is the ugliest cast of characters I've ever seen in a video game, bar none. These are the most ugly, the most unappealing, the most unattractive, not cool characters that I've ever seen in a video game, all in one cast. And then on top of that, you have this fucking trash dispenser character. This person is a trash can, okay? This is a trash robot, but he identifies as a he, him. This literal dumpster, walking dumpster, is a he, him robot. Yeah, Concord's got a lot of issues. The DEI stuff did not make it as bad as it is. The game is just shit. DEI will never make a good game bad, but it will make a bad game worse. And this was really bad.
Of Concord. Low blow, I know, but it'll become a little bit more relevant later on. With that said, Black Myth Wukong's developer Game Science likely has a breakout hit on their hands, and this is their debut title. But there are those that are out there that want to try and stand.
That's what's really wild to me, is that this is like their debut launch, and people are hyping it up so much. I really want to see what it's all about.
And in its way. Just a couple weeks ago, Tom Regan of The Guardian wrote an article titled Black Myth Wukong, the summer's most exciting and most controversial video game. This beautiful looking action game is based on Journey to the West, the great Chinese novel, but
it's racist.
Its own journey to release has hit a bump in the road. Tom writes, after playing Wukong for an hour and a half in a London hotel suite, watched nervously by Game Science employees, I can confirm that, somewhat miraculously, this stunning Chinese mythological twist on Dark Souls delivers on that showy trailer.
It's so funny how everyone says it's a Souls-like, but it's so much more just like a generic 3D action combat game, I feel like. No? I don't know if I get the Souls-like vibe that much.
Marrying fluid-feeling combat and reflex testing difficulty and the expensive filmic sheen of something like God of War.
Cool.
As I sprint through Wukong's dense jungle, ducking and dodging through a deadly array of flora and fauna, I come face to face with everything
racism.
From gi-wearing toads to nightmarish gigantic-headed infants.
Oh.
Unlike many of its brutally challenging From Software-inspired peers, the difficulty in Wukong feels expertly judged.
Ooh.
My simian avatar met a grisly end more times than I care to admit, but I persevered. Eventually, I defeated enough foes to unlock new abilities. Soon, I can perch atop my staff mid-attack, giving me an edge against its murderous mythological monsters. I can buzz around the forest as a stealthy cicada, summon flames from my glaive, and eventually topple a snarly, lorry-sized werewolf atop a crumbling temple. We're under great pressure reflects one of Game Science's co-founders, who was introduced only as Ted. Game Science wouldn't give his full name via translator. This is the first time we have worked on a PC and console game, and we are also a new studio. So we really like to think how tolerant the players and the market is towards us. Their excitement encourages us.
But fuck feminists.
However, the thinking of Chinese people tends to be we look at the risks. And therefore, when we're faced with such great encouragement, the best thing we can do is to try our best to satisfy the expectations of the players and communicate with the players in a very honest way. China has dominated the mobile gaming market. You look at everything that HoYoverse has done, from Genshin Impact to Zenless Zone Zero, Honkai Star Rail, Honkai Impact 3rd. These games have made a lot of money. They have a lot of players.
And Wuthering Waves, too. Don't forget Wuthering Waves.
And what they've done is they've actually paved the way for Chinese developers to be able to reach global markets, something that was relatively inaccessible for them in the past. And in that, I'm actually kind of surprised that we're not seeing more skepticism when it comes to a new studio that hasn't released a game before, that's releasing a triple.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Why the fuck are people hyping this game so much? I don't understand. I feel like I really don't get it. I don't think Asmongold necessarily has that much influence, but I've seen him get hyped so much for this game, and I feel like maybe it played a small part. I don't know.
AAA game that looks as good as this does, and it's coming from a country that we normally don't see a lot of games come from in the first place. But I think it's great that we are seeing that support, because from my perspective, I just want to see more video games, and the more countries that are out there that are making them, the more diverse ideas and cool games that we can play, and that's what I'm all about. And to be honest, we haven't really even seen that many AAA games come from China in the first place. I think the only one that I can think of off the top of my head is like Rocket Blade Point. That's pretty much about it.
Right.
But one of the things the developers brought up was that they feel like they're under a lot of pressure, and I don't think people really understand or recognize just how much pressure that they're under. Because keep in mind, they have far more rules and restrictions that they need to follow before they can even try to ship a game outside of their country.
That's true.
Way more restrictions than Western studios have, that's for sure.
Yep.
But with that said, you also have, clashes in culture and things like that, and I think what they've chose to do is...
I don't know about shipping outside of China, but making a game, and let's say you're porting a game to China, you would probably have to remove any skeletons, any references to bone or blood in your game. You would have to have different filters, different textures for those things specifically. I'm pretty sure you cannot show exposed bone or blood, right, in Chinese games. Correct me if I'm wrong. Or it's just really hard to get that approved.
Especially with Black Myth Wukong, is just, emulate the success of another game and try to adapt their ideologies or their philosophies of game design into their game. And that's what Black Myth Wukong kind of represents to me. It's a smart idea. You're going to be able to hook up with a pretty large audience because a lot of people really like Souls games, especially after Elden Ring. So it's a great idea to be able to reach as many players as you possibly can. But one of the other difficulties that they're running into is one that's completely unnecessary. And it's the fact that for some odd reason, there are a lot of Western critics that do not want to see this game get any level of success. Tom continued.
That is so funny and crazy to me. It's like they're racist.
With his article saying, I am unfortunately met with very little honest communication when I bring up a report from IGN which related alleged sexist comments from multiple developers at Game Science, as well as those in leadership roles. I presented Ted with the opportunity to address those claims of misogynistic posts and whether he feels they represent Game Science's values.
Bro, who the fuck cares, man? Who the fuck cares? I hate this stupid idea that America has to be like the moral judge of everything and project their own morals, values, and cultures to every other fucking country. Like, who cares? You're talking about a game company that exists in a different country that is made up of people brought in a totally different way. Like, if it's so like disingenuous, it's so weird to say and not give people the benefit of the doubt that they would be right or moral if they were given like the right set of circumstances, you know? Whatever it is, like what we consider misogynistic may not be considered that way for them. And it's different rules, different thresholds. There's no moral objective truth. I don't think there is, you know? So it's so cringe when America wants to like, or like Western ideology and Western culture wants to present itself as the moral authority. I feel like that's so fucking cringe. And it's like, what do you have to say about this or that or this part of your culture? It's like, bro, I'm just a game company. What the fuck? Are you kidding me?
Instead, I am shut down with a hasty no comment from their UK PR representative, and then, after a long wait, given a longer statement of no comment via Ted's translator.
Who cares, dude? Why is this in your article? That's so fucking cringe. I can't understate it. I cannot, dude. No wonder they put it out over there like, oh, we don't want feminist propaganda. It's literally insane.
I am then told that Game Science's US PR agency will follow up later with a prepared statement, only to be sent the following. Game Science is focused on the demo at this time and will only answer questions related to gameplay.
As they should. As they should. Are you kidding me? What else? What other thing do you have to answer about the game than the gameplay? Like, like you could ask the developers their like inspirations or like things about the game, but it's like, yo, what about this one tweet you made back in 2020 where you said all women suck ass? What do you got to say about that? And it's like, what? Yeah, well, you had this one employee that said that all women should be in the kitchen. Isn't that like, is that representative of your morals and values, sir? It's like, bro, I'm just trying to make a game. Are you kidding me? Like, what?
The same thing happened to an IGN reporter at a demo in Los Angeles last month. It is disappointing that Game Science is opting to invite journalists to speak to them and play the game, but refusing to answer their questions. Perhaps there is no reassurance to offer. A generous reading of the situation would be that this is an inexperienced studio petrified of saying the wrong thing.
This is so wild. This is unhinged. This is just so crazy. It just goes to show how out of touch gaming journalism is and why it's a dying industry. Holy shit. Who cares? Who actually cares? This is so fucking wild.
Yet, in failing to say anything at all, Game Science is also failing to distance itself and its game from multiple crude, disparaging, and misogynistic comments attributed to its employees and leadership.
There's like the game could put women on a pedestal. The game could praise and love women. You could have Sun Wukong licking a girl's foot and it would still be like, but I don't know, man. Their COO made some really disparaging comments about women. Like, bro, what? It has nothing to do with the game. It's like, has nothing.
Journey to the West, of course, is no stranger to the world of video games. From Ninja Theory's 2010 Alex Garland penned and Andy Serkis starring Xbox 360 adaptation Enslaved: Odyssey to the West, to Akira Toriyama's world-conquering Dragon Ball.
Gamers just want a waifu to simp. Unfortunately, this is not the case. Gamers just want a waifu to simp. That is not, unfortunately, not the case. Because this is the same type of criticism that they lobbied against Stellar Blade as well. So unfortunately, you're not correct. It's not about not having waifus to simp. They literally just do not like these people, and they want to correct other people's cultures.
It's a world of myth and monkeys that lends itself perfectly to gaming. Black Myth Wukong's stunning visuals, cinematic beauty, and refreshing sense of speed could well make it the best playable adaptation of the fable to date.
But wait for the but
the unreserved excitement I would otherwise feel about it is being trampled by the elephant in the room.
Oh my god. It's an elephant, dude. It's an elephant in the room to these people. It's so unavoidable. It's tainting their love, their taste for the game. Holy shit. That is insane.
Guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I cannot believe that they wrote this. The elephant in the room, huh? I would imagine the elephant in the room is the fact that the report from IGN was found to be heavily mistranslated and misrepresented, spreading misinformation about a studio either by the way of IGN's ignorance or their malice. The report that they mention is something that was parroted by almost every other gaming news site. Headlines with this narrative ran wild since the reveal of...
It's like, there's nothing in the game that even says that, right? I mean, they're not talking about it at least. I swear, if there was something really sexist in the game, don't you think they would have reported it on it? They would have said it, right? So there's like nothing in the game that is sexist, but they have to come up with like anything to bring it up. That's insane to me.
Black Myth Wukong's trailer a few years ago, making sure that players know, yeah, the game looks cool, but guys, this is a very bad developer. This
sexist.
Misrepresentation even led to Game Science's studio allegedly being vandalized by the people that were claiming to do it based on that news of the studio's quote-unquote sexist culture.
What? The Game Science offices have been vandalized? Game Science makes Black Myth Wukong. The vandalizers boasting about it on social media, and the motive appears to be a protest against the alleged anti-woman stance on the studio? Huh? Oh shit, Chinese people too are... Wait, they don't like it either. Damn, that's crazy.
Eventually, through social media, readers and critics pointed out the mistranslations. Hell, Asmongold's editor, Clip's editor, did a better job of reporting and investigating, showing all of the mistranslations.
Context. IGN published an article trying to smear the company and the devs behind Black Myth Wukong as some sexist freaks because of some of their employees' social media posts. The article cites one of their artists who basically did the still wood meme about this monster. The problem is that this game journalist, either by sheer incompetence or malice, translated these posts in the most uncharitable way possible. And this is nothing compared to the most egregious.
I just read G-spots in that paragraph. What the fuck does this say? The G-spots of male and female games are fundamentally different? Okay, what?
Possible. And this is nothing compared to the most egregious mistranslation after one of the game company founders posted this in 2020.
I want to expand my circle and hire more people. Get licked until... No, yo, that's wild. Yo, this guy isn't a sexist. This guy is a deviant. This guy is a fucking sexual deviant. What the fuck? That's what we should be talking about.
Apologizing for the lackluster trailer of Black Myth Wukong just released. Now, how on earth do you get?
I want to expand my circle and hire more people. Get licked until I can't get an erection.
In reality, the actual translation completely changes the meaning of what he was saying. Not satisfied, I went back checking and completely changed.
Okay. Want to expand the circle, recruit a few people, but got licked to the point of being unable to get... Okay. The phrase blah 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 is a used idiom in the Chinese language as a colloquial expression used humorously or sarcastically to describe a situation where excessive flattery or sycophancy has an overwhelming and paralyzing effect on someone. The use of such metaphors can be found in informal speech or on social media. That's a wild ass idiom, dude. Is there anything equivalent in English? That's crazy. But I get it. Yeah, it's like people are kissing your ass too much for you to care about it or for you to like regard it as anything significant. I get it. That is crazy though.
Changes the meaning of what he was saying. Not satisfied, I went back checking if anyone called this out when it happened.
Quoting the English translation, say he wanted China and Australia to have mutual orgasms. I think we should give the benefit of the doubt here on the translation. What? So these people are saying it's mistranslated, but it's only Asmongold's clip editor who was smart enough to throw it into ChatGPT, and for ChatGPT to actually answer that it was a colloquial idiom, an expression. If you guys don't know what that means, it's like a saying. It's not like literal. I don't know why I can't think of any other saying, and it's not even really a common idiom, but it's Asmongold likes to say this one a lot. You could build 100 bridges, but as soon as you suck one dick, you're not a bridge builder, you're a dick sucker. That's like an idiom. That's like a saying.
And they did.
And ultimately, this all led to the original writer of the IGN report giving a backhanded non-apology, avoiding the conversation of mistranslation, still perpetuating the lie, and upset over Game Science's lack of response, and that the game with a Monkey King and a bunch of anthropomorphic characters doesn't have enough femme-coded characters. I am beyond myself. The gall to come forward and say something like, maybe they don't want to say anything because they're afraid to say the wrong thing. What exactly is the wrong thing? Because apparently you already think they said it to begin with.
It's like they can't win. They literally can't win.
Even though it was all mistranslated and misrepresented in the first place. Sure, they may have said some crude things, but you don't understand their culture or the intricacies of their language and how they use colloquialisms and things like that. So you're just applying what you believe onto what they are saying.
Yeah.
And it's
appalled. It's the willingness and the audacity to always assume the worst, right? That's really what it is. It's to always assume the worst. That is like what's so incredibly cringe and so weird about it, is to not give people the benefit of the doubt, because you gotta get them clicks, dude. You gotta get them clicks. It's insane. It's like the easiest. It is like the easiest thing. They're drama farming, they're hate farming, and it is embarrassing for that medium for them to like go so far as to try and disparage and ruin this game company's reputation, just because it's like a good hit piece to write. Yeah, it's retarded.
It's just ridiculous is what it is. I'm shocked. I don't even really know how to respond to something like this. I think that Western critics and game journalists, not all of them, but some of them, view these Chinese-made games and games made in some other countries as a threat. Because these are studios that will not fall in line with whatever their narrative is, even if they are in the wrong. Because there are times, and there have been times in the past, where the media was wrong about something, but still wanted and still pressured the studios to do something and say something that otherwise went against it.
Wait. Who's saying that it's a threat? Let me read that back, sorry.
But some of them. I'm shocked. I don't even really know how to respond to something like this. I think that Western critics and game journalists, not all of them, but some of them, view these Chinese-made games and games made in some other countries as a threat. Because these are studios.
That's so weird. So the critics see it as a threat, therefore they're going to disparage it and do everything they can to talk down on the game. As a threat to what? To Western games? Which is crazy though, because I mean those same critics are also criticizing Western games for being sexist, misogynist, not DEI friendly, etc., etc. So I don't really know if I follow that one specifically. See what happened with Stellar Blade? That's true too. You guys think it's a coordinated effort to, how do you say it, defame and attack Eastern games for the prosperity of Western games? Is that really like the agenda here? That seems so weirdly petty, and I think it's probably more simply just racism. I think the easier answer is that they're racist.
That will not fall in line with whatever their narrative is, even if they are in the wrong. Because there are times, and there have been times in the past, where the media was wrong about something, but still wanted and still pressured the studios to do something and say something that otherwise went against it. And that's exactly what they're trying to do now.
It's not assuming the worst. This is deliberate to control them in the narrative across all media. Yeah, I do think it is deliberate. Yeah, you're right. I'm trying to give benefit of the doubt, right? And that's by saying that they're assuming the worst a little bit. But yeah, I do think that it is part of... I honestly think it's more about trying to get clicks, right? Really.
Still running with the exact same narrative, even though it's already been disproven. What is the point of that? Because now what they want is that even though it's been disproven, well, we still want you to tell us that you like women. What are you doing? What is the point of this? And even more so when you're putting out an article talking about the overall feeling of the game, how much you enjoyed the game, and then you have to put something like that in there. Like, we don't.
It is really funny. It's like, okay, we're at 11:09. It's like the IGN people, whoever wrote that article, he's like bringing up the tweets, he's like bringing up the receipts. Yo, but what do you mean by this when you said this, huh? When you said this, Mr. Dev, that you said you wanted to expand your circle and hire more people and get licked until you couldn't get an erection anymore. What did you mean by that? It's like, and the guy's like, oh god, oh Jesus, it's a Chinese idiom. It's a saying. Like, fuck, just no comment, dude. I don't even know what I can say to that. I don't even know what I can say to that. You know, it's like, God, how insufferable, how like insane that is. You know, it's so fucking crazy. Because IGN wrote articles about how RE5 was racist because they want a dude to kill black people in Africa. Then we're so quiet when Assassin's Creed lets you brutally mass murder Japanese people in the game. Honestly, like, low key, high key, I don't know. I really do think that gaming journalism is xenophobic and racist. Whatever you want to say, xenophobic or racist. I do think that is a major part of it. And it is because they don't want these games to... I mean, like, what is the motive, right? Why else do you not want these games to do well? It's not even that, like, Black Myth Wukong is overly sexualized, right? Are there giant ass and titties in Black Myth Wukong? I really don't think so, right? I think they are, like whatever you want to call it, it is just speaking to a more basic sort of avoidance, and it is not rational. It is not based on anything logical. It is simply like not hatred, but like a prejudice against it.
You have to put something like that in there. Like, we don't know what you're trying to do. Trying to spin a narrative around this game to make it feel like, ah, man, you should probably feel bad about playing this game, guys. You should feel bad about it. They're bad people over there. They say mean things on the internet. They say crude things on the internet. How dare they? I think the worst thing possible out of all the things that they said was there was an image of like a snake woman, like a lady that was like, her head was a regular person, but her body was like a snake. It was some like horror creature. And they were like, still wood. Are you serious?
It's so crazy. It's insane. What world do we live in? It's like, but what about that time you said you wanted to fuck a lamia, a snake woman, huh? What about time that you said you would fuck a snake woman? That's pretty damn sexist of you, Mr. What was his name? Yasuo? Yokar? Jeez, dude. It's insane.
What, like they're not allowed to be human and take part in meme culture? Are you serious? What is this? What, like this, like thought policing and I don't know, man.
No.
Like, I'm so happy.
No. You cannot fuck snake women. No. That's a little distasteful, sir. Cannot say that.
That their position was.
Not on my
we're
internet.
working on the demo right now, and that's the only thing that we want to talk about. Because at the end of the day, that's the only thing that actually matters. The game matters. What they do outside of that has no impact whatsoever on what consumers actually care about in the first place. Some of these some of these journalists and games media heads wonder why they're losing subscribers, want to know why they're losing readers. Well, it's probably because of the fact you keep putting things in your articles and in these discussions that don't belong there in the first place.
No. Flip it. No. Think bigger. You know what? I think it's a strat. I'm gonna subscribe to IGN right now. I need to see all their dumbass retarded takes. Holy fuck, that is cinema. It is absolute cinema that they would ship out this article. IGN or whoever wrote that dumb bumfuck article. It's so great.
I originally went to go and read that article because it was talking about their first impressions, and I was just trying to gather a bunch of people's first impressions on the game. And then all of a sudden you want to go off on this tangent on something that was already disproven in the first place? What are we doing?
I tell you one thing. He is subscribed. Okay? He is subscribed to IGN because he knows he can farm the fuck out of them.
What is this? You know, this isn't the first time we've seen this. The Wizard game. Yeah, that's right. Hogwarts Legacy.
See, okay, look. This isn't an Eastern game, right? This isn't an Eastern game. This was dumb as hell, too.
Game critics and journalists dog.
I was legitimately, my streaming was so bad. Like, I had very, very little audience. But I just wanted to stream this game just in spite of Twitter. I thought it would be so funny.
Piled this game as hard as they could. Wired.com gave it a 1 out of 10, not because of the gameplay, not because of the aesthetics, but because of the fact that J.K. Rowling had something to do with it, even though they're just the creator of the source material and actually had nothing to do with the actual creation of the video game, but
And what's wild is that they even had a lot of, like, wasn't there like one bartender who was transgender or something? Like, they had DEI in this game, I'm pretty sure. And it was like pretty tasteful. It wasn't bad at all, or it wasn't like ironic. It was like they tried to cater, and it's like you can't do it though because J.K. Rowling though.
Yeah, that didn't matter. Meanwhile, a slew of other reviewers boycotted even reviewing the game in the first place. Some magazines didn't even post reviews whatsoever, and many of those that did actually review it still made sure to drop a little piece of their mind about J.K. Rowling in the reviews. What are the chances that we see the same thing with Black Myth Wukong? Is it going to suffer the same fate?
Damn, he crucioed the fuck out of this imp.
Regardless of how many people tried to derail Hogwarts Legacy, it ended up being the first title in 15 years to beat Call of Duty in sales, selling...
Oh, shit. Real? Oh, shit, that's crazy. Dang, Hogwarts Legacy 2 is going to go big.
23 million copies in 2023, proving that social issues have no impact whatsoever on what games players want to play and what they want to buy. Hell, back when Activision Blizzard went through their major controversy, the players that were leaving the game weren't leaving because of what happened at the company, they were quitting because the game sucked. And as soon as they came out with a new expansion, the vast majority of the players returned to the game. I think that there are those in media today that are afraid of losing influence, afraid of games, studios, and publishers that they can't pressure in some way, shape, or form. If the readers aren't listening and the game makers don't listen either, then their relevance is nothing more than a flickering candle in the wind and they're running out of wick. There is no verifiable proof of game science mistreating their employees, and the only thing that you have to go off of are some jokes that they have made on the internet that any other human would make, things that you see all of the time. Creating
What does it say? I don't think gaming journalists are racist. After all, they complain about there not being enough black people in games like Kingdom Come Deliverance and Witcher 3, which are games set in region times where there are few, if not any people with dark skin. Their intentions are essentially for diversity, which by definition is not racist, but in some cases, such as Wukong, it comes off the exact opposite of their intentions and feels a bit on the racist side. Well, I mean, they tore apart Hogwarts Legacy, but I do think it is still xenophobic. At least, like, the supporting evidence I have is Stellar Blade and Wukong. But I don't really understand, like, relating this to, like, oh, they're advocating for more diversity in Kingdom Come Deliverance and Witcher 3, when, like, that doesn't... Even if you are saying, like, oh, we need people with darker skin to be representative in the game, I don't think that absolves you of racism. I think it just means that you're not racist against darker skinned people, and you still could be racist against, like, I don't think that absolves you of racism.
Victims out of thin air. What's probably worse for them is the truth that they're coming to realize. Customers only care about the value of the product itself and not how it was made or who it was made by. Catering to these niche audiences who actually do buy things based on morals is useless, because likely they don't even exist in the first place, and even if they did, they probably don't even play video games. This is only another factor that devalues the perspective and the voice of traditional games media and reviewers. And I know that there are good professional journalists and reviewers that are out there, but I wish that they were calling this kind of stuff out, especially the writer from IGN and The Guardian, because this is only serving to damage their credibility and the credibility of all games media.
They would never do it. Why would you shit in the bowl you eat? You know what I mean? Why would you disparage your medium, right? They would never do it. It would hurt them more. And unless they're, I guess, trying to break off and go indie, I guess. But it's like, they're never going to, like, take a shit in their own lawn. You know what I mean?
The lack of independent thought and reasoning within games media today is staggering. It just blows my mind. At this point, I cannot wait for Black Myth Wukong to come out. Not because I can't wait to play it, which obviously I can't wait to play it, but just to see the hot takes. Because you know for a fact, because for how long some of these different articles, journalists, and media sites have been running this headline and running with this narrative, you know they're going to be including that stuff going forward. Still trying to ask and find out, yeah, but you still didn't say that, you know, it doesn't reflect on your studio or anything like that. What does that even matter? Like, they haven't made a joke or a crude joke or anything like that in the past.
Right?
It's so disingenuous.
Dude, pull up any of these game journalists, their private media, their fucking Twitter, their Discord convos, their Xbox Live fucking game sessions. All of them canceled. Holy shit. It's so fucking cringe. It's so cringe.
And that's one of the reasons why the vast majority of people have just completely turned off of reading articles or IGN or any of these companies anymore.
I'm not. I want to see more. I want to see more. Like, now I know that if I want to read something really stupid and retarded, I go to IGN.
Is because it's so disingenuous. It's so fake. It's so fake. You don't care about any of these things.
I'm
You're just
feeling
searching
some
for a
brain
headline
rot.
that you hope will get clicks.
I'm
That's
hungry
all
for
it
some
is.
brain rot.
Everybody can see it. Everybody knows it. Most of this stuff now, you're just making it up out of thin air. It's just even worse.
Kotaku, that one's good too.
It's not only that
one's good too.
You know, we didn't find you entertaining, right? So we stopped reading because of that. But now we can't even trust the words that you say because you're just going to say whatever you want to hopefully try to get somebody to look at what you're saying. What's funny is, and I should have brought this up, I might end up making another video about this, but recently I just saw that PC Gamer put out a article talking about putting community notes on YouTube videos and how this games writer was talking about how, you know how much YouTubers like to lie. Pot call.
Oh my god, dude. Holy shit. Talk about the pot calling the kettle black. Jesus, dude. You know those YouTubers. Those YouTubers love to lie. They love to sensationalize everything. Clickbait title here, clickbait title there. Oh, man, dude.
Calling the kettle black.
Wait, you just said
Meanwhile,
it.
none of these
Yo, pre-watched?
journalists seem to hold each other accountable. You guys ever notice that? You see YouTubers all the time. They'll go back and forth. Somebody will say something. They'll hold them honest. They'll make videos on.
And that is like the beautiful thing about YouTube is because I can say something retarded, or Gotcha Smack can say something retarded, Mr. Pokey can say something retarded, Tectone can say something retarded, and I have the freedom and I get more clicks for calling them out on that retardation. And I can get clowned on too, you know? Because, you know, guaranteed I'm going to say something retarded one of these days. But what I'm saying is, like, at least we all live in the same shark-infested waters where everyone is just waiting on the dime to drop, on the pin to drop, where you fuck everything up and everyone gets to, like, dogpile on you, you know?
On it, obviously they can farm it, but you don't often see any of these games journalists ever going after one another for anything. Somebody writes a bad article, or they lie about something or misrepresent something, nobody wants to talk about it. At least not on the professional side. I mean, they could call that professionalism. I could call it dishonest. Anyway, I'm looking forward to Black Myth Wukong. What about you guys?
He's such a good speaker.
Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, like the videos.
Does he do this scripted? He's such a good speaker. He has, like, so much good, like, dramatic reading, dramatic pausing. Oh, so good.
Subscribe to the channel and catch me live on Twitch if you guys want to watch me play some video games, talk about gaming news.
He says things in such a way that compels, like, so much emotion. So fun. Anyway, that's Legendary Drops. Definitely a good watch. Love this video. And we are gonna be playing some Black Myth Wukong to check out the situation. Where's Black Myth Wukong right now? Where's Black Myth Wukong right now? Where it is? Where is it? Where is it? Okay. All right. We're still going strong. 1.4 mil. 1.4 million. Dead game, by the way. Racist game, by the way. Sexist game, by the way. At this point, I do think it's like a psyop. It's like, yo, IGN, can you write a really retarded article and promote our game? Yo, how much do I have to pay? Okay, it's like there's two tiers, right? You can either get a legitimate article that's boring as hell, that talks only about gameplay, and that's like, you know, that's like the tier 1 pricing. But tier 3 is with an extra bit of retardation and, you know, some of that spice. Oh, can you say our game is sexist? Oh, wait, but can you also say our game is racist too? You know? And it's like you add more and more to that price point based on how dumb you want the article to be. At this point, it must be true. 1.4 mil.